Hey YouTube, what's going on? This is Joking Comic Center, and this is gonna be my wrap-up video for what I've read in the month of October. And I really liked doing the other video last month, so I'm gonna keep on doing this, and it actually motivates me to get more books reading each and every month. So let's start. And first off, what I got read was, I think it was the last book that I showed in my last video, the second volume of Earth 1 Batman. And this is of course Jeff Johns and Gary Frank, once again, so it's the same team as the first book. And the very same team that brought us Doomsday Clock, and also, let's see here. No, I was gonna say Three Jokers, but that's Jason Fabok. But let's see here. This is still a strong continuity to the first volume and its own universe and everything. And I really do believe that the Batman movie with Robert Pattinson is gonna take a lot of influence from this book series. Not just because some lines are the exact same used in the trailer and such, but also the feel and the tone of it really coexist with this one. At least that's my belief. But what we're rumored to believe is that it's gonna be some sort of a long Halloween kind of situation within the Batman. But yeah, it's a good read. The main villain in this volume is the Riddler, and he really isn't his goofy kind of, it's not a Jim Carrey kind of take on the Riddler. It's more of the Arkham Asylum kind of psychopath, I would say. But yeah, I don't really have much more to say about this. This is the second time I've read this, and stays strong, if not stronger. Now the second time, really enjoying both the artwork and Jeff Johns' writing once more. And I'm also doing a Spider-Man marathon that I started by the end of the summer. So I'm reading through all of the omnibuy that I collected so far, and recently finished off reading the Todd McFarlane omnibus. And yeah, it's Todd McFarlane. What are you gonna say about it? His artwork is of course amazing, and it's really evolved. I mean, it's a step up for the artwork within the Spider-Man. I would say it's really good artwork in Roger Stern book, but I mean, we're getting into the 90s now. You can really feel that with this. A lot more action, a lot more details, and the panel work is getting a little experimental. We're trying on new stuff, and I really like that. Of course, first appearance of Venom within these pages by issue number 300 and such, but far from that, I don't think you really discover some new things. There are some interesting things with Mary Jane's character, I think, within these stories, and I'm still reading the marathon. I'm currently reading the Eric Larson omnibus, so maybe I'll get my stories mixed up, but I really like how they portray Mary Jane within these stories, that she is not such a damsel in distress, but they actually portray her as a strong woman and taking on her own stance against some of the villains within this book. And yeah, that's what I have to say about that. In short terms, I still have a stack of 19 Justice League books, or maybe 20. I don't know if I should count one of these books because one of them I actually didn't finish reading. But I'll show it anyway, because most of these, spoiler alert, I'm gonna sell. But not necessarily because they are bad stories, just because I don't think that they live up to the hype that they had on me all those years ago when I first bought it. But first off, I've kicked off another reading marathon to go with my Spider-Man marathon, just so I can go back and forth if I feel that there's too much Spidey going on. So I started off reading all of my Justice League books, starting off with the new Brad Meltzer run that I think I showed in my last haul video, if not the haul before that. And this collects two story arcs, that's the Tornado's Path and the Lightning Saga, all collected in this one deluxe edition. It also contains some issues from Jeff Jones's Justice League or Justice Society of America run. And I think this is the best actually that got out of this series. The beginning is very, very strong with this Justice League of America volume, and contains first 12 issues of Justice League of America and then issue number 5 and 6 from Justice Society. And yeah, as I said, the strongest stories are within this book. So this one I'm gonna keep, but there are the follow-up volumes that I don't feel lives up to all of the other Justice League stories that I have available, that I much rather would reread again much sooner than just have to pile through all the stories that's collected within this particular series. But we'll go on, because what follows with those volumes are the standard size editions, and I don't know if you can get a hold of them in paperback format or any other format right now, but as I said, we'll hope that they'll continue publishing these deluxe editions. Because what follows are the Injustice League, and they're not numbered or anything, but at least you can see the issues contained within this book, so you know that this follows. And then we have Sanctuary. So Injustice League is of course the gathering of a Justice League. We have Cheetah, Lex Luthor and Joker as the evil Trinity, gathering up to make another Legion of Doom basically. And Justice League of America Sanctuary, we have some B or C villains, some that I've never heard of that seek Sanctuary within the Justice League, within the whole of Justice League of America. And Second Coming, I think this is actually really good because I really like what they do with Vixen's character. And the artwork, of course, by Ed Benes is stunning. So I believe up till this volume I really enjoyed the run actually, but as I said, these are not as strong as the first two story arcs in my release, because the other story arcs kind of affects other story arcs as well. And then we have the When Worlds Collide, which would be volume 6 within the standard size collections. And then with all the events and everything, I think it's because of Final Crisis, the Justice League of America team kind of splits, so we get to see another iteration of the team within the books written by James Robinson, which is have you ever heard of Justice League Cry for Justice? Actually, I loved this book the first time I read it, but the second time around I can really see what people are getting at when it comes to, I don't know if you would say cringiness or something, but the very first issue within this book, the word justice is said a lot, and it's kind of like, yeah, we get the point, but then you get to hear the point at least 3 or 4 more times before the issue has ended. And I do like some aspects of it. This new Justice League, made up of Green Lantern, Green Arrow, a new Starman that's an alien, a Kong Gorilla, and Supergirl. We have the Atom, of course, and one Freddy from the Shazam family. But I really like the Green Lantern and the Atom kind of team ups. They are kind of badass within this one, just because they don't fret to go into kind of a dark place with their interrogation, making Atom go into their brains and like stomp on their pain nerve center or something. And I think that's kind of cold for a superhero, but at the same time kind of badass that they went that way. They just feel that we're the Justice League of America. We never really represented the justice because we never take action. We just take action whenever there's something going on. But that would be kind of patrolling and everything and controlling. So yeah, kind of two sides of that. But there's a nice twist within this book that actually affects future stories within the Brightest Day story arc, I would say. So if you haven't read Cry for Justice, maybe not. The follow-up book for Cry for Justice is Justice League Rise and Fall. And this is mainly a Green Arrow story arc, but also a Arsenal story arc, which spins out of the events from Cry for Justice. And I don't really want to spoil anything within these videos, but I want to tell you what I've read. So if you like Cry for Justice and want to see what happens next, you can check out Cry for Justice. Or Rise and Fall, I mean. So after those events, those were kind of two maxi series that they published. The Justice League of America returns, but then with a new kind of team up. And that's where it really lost me, because I liked the first setup that was made from the very first volume. And now we have a whole different team just because Superman is off-world somewhere. Batman, Bruce Wayne, is dead. That's a spoiler, but yeah, that happened. And Dick Grayson is now Batman. And I don't know where Wonder Woman is, but now we have I forget her name, Donna Troy, taking up the mantle for her. So we have all of these replacements, and no disregard for Dick Grayson as Batman, but he can't hold up the whole team, sadly. And that goes on for volume of Team History and Dark Things. This is where Jade comes back, and it's kind of a Alan Scott story arc as well, with Obsidian and everything. And then Omega. And these are okay, but they are not Jeff Johns stories. James Robinson has written some other stuff that I like. I really like his New 52 Earth 2, which I'm about to read next month and really looking forward to. But these stories are weak, in my opinion. They are so weak. They actually goes on for one more volume, which is this paperback, The Rise of Eclipso, which I read 2 issues of before I was like, no, I admitted to myself, but that I don't want to read this. I just want to go to the Jeff Johns, Jim Lee, New 52 stuff and enjoy it. So that's what I did. And I think I showed this also in the same haul video as the other Justice League volume that I bought, the Justice League Origin Deluxe hardcover. So I do have the standard hardcovers left, and I also have the Absolute of this, just because I want to know what DC is gonna do about this. Are you gonna keep collecting it in Absolute, or are you gonna keep collecting it in Deluxe? Whichever way you go, I'm ready. So I reread it for maybe the 4th time. I think I've read more. I don't know, I've read these 12 issues so many times, maybe 5 times, because I remember I had the unwrapped edition as well, which is just the artwork, or the pencil artwork, but then it's no ink or colors. And this is really good. It has a own animated movie which is pretty close to what this is, and it's some of Jim Lee's best artwork. Not Jeff Johns' strongest writing, but it is a good origin story for the team. And it follows up from there. Because, of course, I went straight on to the next volume, which is volume 3. And that is the Throne of Atlantis story arc, which is a crossover with Aquaman, which Jeff Johns also wrote at the time. So, of course, when you have the same writer on both titles, it is gonna work phenomenally. And yeah, with Ivan Rey's artwork as well, can't really ask for more because you already have it all. Of course, can we have this in a larger size edition? I would love that. But of course, we have that in the Aquaman Omnibus, so yeah. Then follows volume 4. I mean, these books reads so fast, and that is all thanks to Jeff Johns, in my belief. So that is how I got all of this read. How I got the first half read, that was pure willpower. And yeah, the grid, can't really say much about this. There are some minor story arcs before we get into the major event, or the, I would say, prequel event, that is Trinity War. But before I could jump into Trinity War, I had to start reading the Justice League of America once more, this time in the New 52 era, which is a kind of a, this team is based on Amanda Waller wanting to have a Justice League that the government actually can control, unlike the Justice League that formed out of the events from the Darkseid invasion, because she reflects, just like her Suicide Squad, what if good guys turn bad. She creates this Justice League of America to be able to intercept the real or original Justice League in case they would rebel or not listen to the government or something. And Jeff Johns is also writing stories in this first book, leading up to the prequel event that is Trinity War. All of this, as I said, read so fast, and this is the first time that I actually had a real marathon with these books, and it reads so damn good, all collected together, all at once. To read this, waiting month for each issue, I don't think I could go back to that, to collecting single issues after having these marathons and actually just getting the story all at once. And the Trinity War, I think it's a good event, but the first time that I actually read it within the single issue format is when it really shocked me with the twist. And if you don't want to know what actually spins out of this, you should stop watching now, because the event that actually follows is, of course, the Forever Evil. And I think I've lost some viewers there because I don't know if I'm gonna mention, but yeah, we get visitors from another Earth, and our villains need to rebel and get together to stop them, for a greater evil has arrived. And yeah, Jeff Johns, and co-reading with this one, you can't just read this one straight through, or you can, but you get a richer and stronger tale if you at the same time read Matt Kint's Justice League of America Volume 2, The Survivors of Evil, at the same time as you flip between issues of Justice League Volume 5, which is Forever Heroes. Here you can actually see villains that has invaded the New 52 universe. And once I read this, I was lucky that I didn't pick up any Wikipedia page or anything on the reading order, but just naturally went back and forth within these books, and it actually spanned out pretty good. So having finished reading this today, I'm very excited to keep on reading Volume 6, which is going to be the Justice League, the New 52 kind of era, now with the events that takes place after the Forever Evil. And then of course there's gonna be the Dark Side War saga, and I'm gonna try to read all the Earth 2 books after that. So keeping on with just the marathon is really funny, and you get to read your books so more efficient, I believe, and it's just so fun to read books now. And yeah, I would like to say thanks so much for watching my wrap-up video. Sorry for making it this long, but I hope you enjoyed it still, and thanks so much, and see you all in another video. Take care everyone, bye bye.